Now, cruise ships are a fun and generally stress-free way to take a vacation. But could you actually live full-time on a cruise ship? If you've spent a relaxing vacation on a cruise, you may think what it must be like to spend every day just lounging by the pool or stopping in some of your favorite countries from the Bahamas to Italy and beyond. Then at night you sit down to a nice meal before enjoying a great show in one of the many theaters, all while meeting people from all over the world. But is that dream even possible? Can you really live on a cruise ship? Keep watching as I break down the pros and the cons of living on a cruise ship and find out if this is something that you could actually do. I recently came across an article featuring 28-year-old Austin Wells of San Diego. Austin decided to become a full-time resident of a cruise ship.
What I'm actually probably most excited about is going to places that ships can only uniquely go. And so there are a number of harder to get to destinations. And there are a number of what I would describe as sea-based destinations. So like areas where you maybe have unique ecological parts of the world, or beautiful dive spots that are a few miles off land, or caves to dive through. And the ship will do a number of overnight stays in those areas.
Now, as mentioned, he lives here in Southern California, where the cost of living is quite high. So he crunched the numbers and he found that he could live on a cruise ship for less money than he currently spends living here in San Diego.
It's just like owning a condo. You can sell it, you can rent it. The Storylines company helps navigate all of that as well. And they have kind of their own sales group too that can ensure that there's quick turnover for any vacant units, which I think is very important, frankly, just from a terms of making sure the capacity of the vessel actually feels alive and doesn't have a bunch of empty units.
Austin believes his cruise ship life will cost him around $4,200 a month. That's $2,100 a month for his room and an additional $2,100 for food and everything else. Austin also works from home and he can do this still on a ship. So living on a cruise ship is not exactly new, but it's also not very common. Of course, there are people that live on ships, namely the crew of your favorite cruise ship, and of course, well, the Navy. But for the most part, people do not live on cruise ships as much as you may think. But before we get to the reasons why you may not want to live on a ship full time, let's look at some of the reasons why you may. So number one, it's exciting. The main appeal of a cruise is all the beautiful locations. They have great shows, there's food everywhere. It's just a lot of fun. I've enjoyed them. Number two, everything is taken care of. I've done a handful of cruises over the years with just my wife and a few with our kids, and there is something really nice and relaxing about having everything taken care of for you. I don't have to find a hotel every night or find the nearest restaurant or get directions to the attractions, all that sort of thing. Everything's just there and it's ready for you. It's very convenient, which is really low stress. Number three, there is a lot to do. You can keep yourself busy every night. The cruise ship doesn't want you to get bored, so they keep the schedule full of options. Meals, entertainment, casinos, piano bars, comedy club, excursions. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. Number four, there are staff on hand to help you with just about everything. They clean your room, they'll cook your food. If you need a massage, you can learn how to dance. I mean, there is someone there to help you with everything you could possibly want. You can treat yourself and really feel like a pampered king or queen if that's what you want. Okay, so that all sounds great, but as you will see, some of those same perks could also be kind of a challenge depending on your perspective. All right, so number one, the cruise ship industry is not really set up for full-time living. You may think that they have everything, and to a degree, a cruise ship is kind of like a small city, but their business model is set up to get you on, take your money, and put you back on dry land. That's the way it works. Number two, having you stay for months or even years is not exactly what they want. One reason they do not want this is because the longer you live there, the more you're going to need from them. Think about your last cruise. How often did you go to medical? Maybe some seasickness, but I've never been to medical. But if I live there for a year, I might start to use them. And as I get older, medical requirements are going to grow even more. That's not something they really want to keep paying for other than what they have to. Number 3, another issue is things like prescriptions and any other ongoing or continuous medical needs. Again, the ship expects certain injuries and ailments, but they aren't really equipped to provide a full array of medicine and facilities that you may need over the course of weeks or years or whatever. Not to mention, there does not seem to be a very good long-term health insurance plan for this type of living. I looked around, I couldn't find anything really great. So that's not really an option, which means a lot of this is going to come out of pocket above and beyond what the cruise ship would normally provide. And number 4, here's something I never even thought of. Where do you actually live? The ship is often not registered in your home country. That's certainly true here in the United States. Most ships are registered somewhere else. So when you file your taxes, where are you a resident of? The US? Are you a resident of where the ship is registered? Are you a resident of the ocean? I don't really know. I mean, I guess you could say you're on an extended vacation, but you can see the issues here. I don't know the answer to this. If you know the answer, please let me know in the comments. I'm really curious. And number 5, even the most nomadic of us all want relationships, even if those are just friends or even romantic. But if you live on a cruise ship, the chances are pretty great that you will never see those same faces again, with the exception of the crew. And the crew are kind of in a tough spot there. They're there to help you and make your experience fun, and they're all very friendly, but they're not really there to share their thoughts and their feelings with you as a friend may. So are they ever really going to be your friends, or are they just kind of like the bartender that listens to you at the same time wishing they could just go home? And finally, repetitiveness. Even the things that we love get old after a while. While stopping by some interesting port may sound fantastic now, do you really want to go there every single week for a year? I don't know. I have a few friends that are entertainers on ships. Both these guys are fantastic singers and dancers, really just fantastic. As great as they are, do I want to see them do the same show every week for 6 months straight? I probably don't. Actually, I don't. All those live events that you see over the course of a 3 to 5 day vacation, they simply reset and start over again each week. So for you, living there, that'd be a little repetitive after a while. On a short trip, all those options seem overwhelming, but a few months at sea and you would have seen and done it all. So as we get back to our friend Austin, his ship, the MV Narrative from Storylines Cruise Lines, is still being built, and it will be geared towards full time. So it's going to be a little different than, say, your average Love Boat style of cruise that we've all been more familiar with. Austin leased his room for 12 years for $300 grand. That's where he gets the $2,100 a month figure from. Also remember, he's doing this on his own, no spouse. So I suppose if he were to get married or find someone, he could probably use that same room, but that partner would be expected to pay at least an additional $2,100 a month to match his for all their expenses. So that would bring his total cost to over $6,000 or $72,000 a year. What do you think? Could you see yourself living on a cruise ship? What do you think you would like about it or hate about it? Let me know in the comments. Now, if living on a cruise ship is not a good solution, why not check out this video right here on different locations that Americans are moving to? If you'd like more information about the cost of living in a variety of countries, check out our cost of living series right there. A lot of great information. But until we talk again, keep on trekking.